Hi, I'm Liz, and this is the Go Youth Treadmill for Under Your Desk. So I've had this for about 6 months, and I wanted an under the desk treadmill for a long time before I actually bit the bullet and bought this one. And I watched it, and I watched the ratings, and I compared it, and I finally just decided do it. I was a little nervous based on some of the reviews talking about noises or oiling or those sorts of things, but quite honestly, 6 months in, I've had absolutely no issues with it, and it's been fantastic. It fits underneath my desk. I can also easily store it up against the wall if I'm not walking on it. It's super low profile. It's also light enough to just kind of like move around. So if it's going to be in a Zoom shot while I'm doing a meeting or something, I just move it to the other side of the room. It's just easy to move. So I usually use it either under my desk during the workday, or I can also easily move it to the living room where we watch TV and get in some extra steps in the evenings as well. So I think in the videos you can see that it's easy to lift. It's kind of got like a little handle underneath the tread on the back side, so that helps you pull it. It does have a little remote that helps you turn it on, turn it off. I will say recently it started connecting to Bluetooth items around the house. So like one day one of my kids had music on and it connected to the treadmill, and then the treadmill speaker started playing the music that they had on their phone. So that was a little weird, but not a big deal. I also do more than the 20 minutes that people talk about in the reviews of the listing. So I actually sometimes will walk on mine for 2 or 3 hours at a time during my work day. I know some of the people in the questions asked about if you can walk and work. This is definitely personal coordination related. So when I am in a meeting, I can put it on very low and still maintain if I need to speak up. I usually do if it's like an all hands or a big meeting where you don't have to say much, then I can walk. If I'm typing, I need to keep it around two, a little under, so that I can like uh, accurately type and keep track of what I'm doing. If I'm in a meeting where people are talking, I can do it. I kind of don't recommend it just based on you can definitely hear like your feet moving and those sorts of things. So if you're off mute for a long period of time, probably not a great fit, depending on, how close you are with the person you're meeting with. So to answer some of the other questions that I saw down below, how is this holding up after a couple months of regular usage? Great. So far, I've had absolutely no issues with it. Does it count steps? It does. And I was actually super curious to see if the step counter on the display was accurate. So I wore my watch and also counted like in the number of steps manually while watching it count, and it ended up being super accurate between the three, like my out loud step count for my actual feet moving, my watch, and also the display all ended up being very, very close. um does it have the option to incline? This one does not, nor would I recommend it for an under the desk necessarily. If you can, good on you, very coordinated. Does it comply with US electrical outlets? It does. I will say, and this could be something to do with my electrical more than the actual treadmill. But I can't plug it in on the same breaker as my office. It kept tripping the breaker. So I plug it in the bathroom that's like right outside the door and run an extension. But in the living room, I have no issues anywhere else. So it may just be because we have all of our hardware in there, the router and the computer and the internet and all that stuff. So could be that. If you step off the unit while it's running, does it continue to run? Yes. So I've done this when I didn't want to like reset my speed and all of that stuff. I just step onto the side, step off, and come back. It's not a big deal. And is it easy to work while walking slowly? It's manageable. I like it. So if you are looking on the fence, trying to figure out which under the desk treadmill you go with, I recommend this one. I'll check back in a couple months and tell you how it's doing again if that, you know, ends up being that it's still doing really great or something else happens. But otherwise, highly recommend. I hope that helps.